Welcome, everybody. We are back with I Am Making You Watch This. My name is Stephen Bailey.
And I'm Angela Kang. I've been up since 3:30 this morning.
Angela, get off of your phone.
I'm posting a story for the podcast.
Are you on the IMYWT pod?
Oh.
On our Instagram? Let's get this out of the way now. Social media, folks. IMYWT pod. Look us up.
And Facebook, our page is I'm Making You Watch This, a podcast. Like, subscribe, follow, all the above, comment.
Yep, this is
share.
This is a podcast where we make each other watch something new every week that the other person has not seen before.
Yeah.
And we got a special one this week.
It's a themed episode,
It's a versus. It's a battle of the
Don't say that. It's not a competition.
I treat this podcast solely as competition.
Okay.
I'm only trying to win.
Well,
All I do is win, win, win.
Stop. Just stop. Just stop right there.
No. But we are both TV enthusiasts, I would say. We both enjoy the things that we watch, and we want to make sure that the other person is blessed with the same feelings of excitement, and we just want them to enjoy the things that we enjoy. Yeah, it's not...
If it backfires, then okay. That's fine.
It's only happened once, but we don't talk about it anymore.
No, it's the lost episode.
The lost episode. But not the lost episode.
No.
The lost episode was great, but the unaired.
Which we didn't reference last time.
The uncast one.
Yeah.
No, but this week, it was interesting because we went out to lunch this time last week after recording.
We hung out as friends outside of the podcast, which is strange.
It was crucial. We were...
Steven was like...
We see each other solely as business partners now.
Well, Steven, he said, hey, do you want to hang out as friends? And I said, oh yeah, I guess we are still friends.
That's just how we're going to keep the magic alive.
Yeah, I guess
so.
So.
We keep that chemistry up.
I'm scared that if we meet up as friends, we're going to lose stuff to talk about in the podcast. Oh, God.
We each have a quota or a meter of conversation that we have, and it's just going to run low.
Yeah.
Well... At this lunch, we were talking about, let's go and get our picks out of the way now so that we'll be able to watch them, beforehand and have time and be able to announce them early. None of which we did.
We didn't.
We didn't announce it early. And both of us, I watched them both late last night, and you watched them this morning.
Literally right before I got here.
Yeah. But that's okay. We had our intentions were pure. But you were going through things that you're like, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this? And then you threw at me the CBS? ABC, CBS. CBS TV show Elementary. Elementary. Which is a modern revival of
Sherlock
Holmes. To which I was like, no, I've never seen it. But I'm assuming that you have seen the BBC Sherlock.
And I said, no.
Which I thought was crazy.
I think it's crazy too. I've been toying with the idea of watching it, so.
But we thought, what a perfect premise for an episode. We're going to have not a battle, but a celebration. It's a battle. I'm going to win.
Versus.
It's Sherlock versus Sherlock. Or we're going to have, Sherlock across the pond.
Super sleuth
Sherlock
episode.
straddling the pond.
Yeah. Good one.
So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. But first of all, let's get that music rolling. The game's afoot. Tally-ho! I need to say the game's afoot at some point, and then tally-ho just organically spewed from that. All right.
Oh, did you? We're still doing the little quiz segment too. How you write your questions?
I did.
Okay,
I did that this morning.
Okay.
You can see it's in a different color ink because I had to use a different pen. I didn't have to use a different pen.
I won't read it upside down, like Watson does to his therapist.
Did you find watching? Anytime I watch a mystery detective or Sherlock show or something like this, or any sort of show where the hero has a particular set of skills that you try those things out after watching it, it's like you become hyper observant after watching.
Yeah.
After watching this, or like if you watch like a spy movie or like a super action movie, like you're hyper aware of like, oh, could I
think I have an
kick that guy's
ability,
butt?
yeah.
Could I? Yeah. Or I mean, even more so would be like if you saw a movie with a lot of like high speed chases, driving home, you're tempted to just floor it.
Yeah. Or like after an action movie, you just want to kick someone's ass.
Yeah.
Right,
Totally.
just in the parking lot.
Totally. I'm appraising you right now. I'm trying to figure out like little details of like, oh, there's a smudge on her elbow. She must have had macaroni and cheese for breakfast.
Oh no, she has white hair on her jacket. She must have a dog who is being a jerk right now.
Zeus is not cooperating?
No, he's not. He ate his bed and threw it up promptly afterwards.
Oh, puppers.
Yeah. Anyways, I've
Doggo.
been on poop alert, so I know you really needed to know that.
Always want to hear about poop.
I do.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do first?
I don't know.
You want to do Elementary first and then Sherlock? How do we do it last time? I went first last time, so you go first this time.
Okay.
Elementary, my dear Angela.
Okie dokie. Well, okay.
So,
Or do you want to go with Sherlock first, and since this is Sherlock is more...
do you want to have the final say? Is that what's happening right
I
now?
don't know. I feel like Sherlock compared
Honestly, this one, I think we could maybe do, let's experiment. Let's go a little bit
to
of both.
side by side.
Yeah, because there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
Not just because they're both Sherlock, but there are some similar like choices both of them did.
Yes.
So let's just freeform it. Let's just go through
Okay.
and see what happens.
Well, let's talk. Okay, I was saying to Steven that I watched both of these right before I got here, but I didn't realize Sherlock episodes were an hour and a half.
I knew you were going to give me a grief about picking another long
No,
thing.
well, let me just say right off the bat, I loved Sherlock. I can't wait to leave here to go binge watch the rest of it.
Love that.
Loved it so much.
Yeah.
I was so hyped.
Yeah.
And I was super groggy and tired, watching it, but oh man, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good time.
But yeah, so I didn't realize there was an hour and a half, so I didn't really time it out properly. And then I was very rushed for time to be here. So if you can tell, my energy level is a little bit elevated today.
Well,
because-
that's what's interesting about Sherlock is like they're mini movies. Or they're movies. I mean, they are just movies. They're 90-minute movies, and they only do 3 episodes per season.
Yeah.
So with the huge gaps in between like releases, there's a lot of like anticipation and frantic buildup of like, what do we got to get Sherlock back again? And then you just have like 3 episodes and you bang, 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 and you're done. You're like, when do I get my fix again?
Are they done with this?
I don't think so. I think they just did a Christmas special. I didn't do my research on this. They did a Christmas thing recently. I think that was a Christmas special. But there's like these huge gaps because now Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman are megastars. And so scheduling with them is impossible.
Difficult.
It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I can't remember I think the last one they did was a one-off special, I think. Oh, I should look that up.
I love the choices of actors for this.
Totally.
Martin Freeman as Dr. John Watson and Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes. Have you seen that SNL sketch with Benedict Cumberbatch where it's a game show and it's called Is Benedict Cumberbatch Hot? It's pretty good.
I haven't seen that one.
You listeners all should watch. It's pretty good.
But he plays himself in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a contestant on Is Benedict Cumberbatch Hot?
I read I was reading like a review of it, and somebody described him with his reptilian-like good looks.
Yes.
Which is interesting because like the meme comparison is that he looks like an otter.
Really?
Yeah. There's like memes of him like comparing the two.
But reptilian, I can very much see.
Yeah.
I can see him on the cover of Animorphs morphing into a reptile.
Yeah. I lied. It was a full season for the 4th season. So yeah, it was a full 3 episodes. So total, there are currently 13 episodes.
And you can watch it on Netflix, guys.
It is on Netflix. Check it out.
When I first saw the cover art on Netflix, it's the two of them on the picture and like BBC in the corner. I thought it was a period piece, like not present day.
Really?
Yeah, I guess it's just from what they were wearing. I don't know. I really thought it was going to take place like back in the day.
Well, that was the Christmas special. They do a fun little Victorian time thing.
Ew.
And like that's like after the 3rd season.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a couple Christmases ago. Yeah. So there is, they were wearing Victorian garb for one episode.
Maybe that was.
And I'm not going to spoil it, but that was
Okay.
That's a thing that happens.
Have you read?
I have not all of them. And I was younger. I mean, I think I was in high school when I read like a few of them.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one. I'm pretty sure one of them was probably The Hounds of Baskerville and a couple other ones. There's one, what sticks out the most, honestly, from reading them, and I don't remember which mystery it was, but there's one where the story ends with the guy talking about running away from something or somebody, and he gets trapped in a silver press, which is what it sounds like. It's like a giant machine used to press silver. And he's talking about like he gets stuck inside it and the thing's coming down. And he goes into this description of what would be the quickest way to die, the least painful way to die, like being stuck in this like press. It's like I want to angle my neck in a certain way to where like it'll kill me instantly. And that image has been stuck in my head forever. And he ultimately like kicks himself free of like this thing. So imagine sort of like Victorian, like steampunky, like like metal room shrinking thing.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure that's a Sherlock Holmes story. If it's not, then no, I've never read it.
Okay.
No, but I did read them at one point, but they're fun. They're really fun.
It really makes me want to go read them now. I'm going to watch the whole series, rewatch Elementary, and then read the books.
So
I'm like,
look, it's in a book.
Reading Rainbow.
All right. So I'm trying to remember the first time I watched the show. I think the whole first season was out before I watched it. It's written by Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat,
who also wrote
for Doctor
Who. Yes.
Right. Stephen Moffat just left as showrunner. I'm finally catching up on the last season. They finally released it on Amazon Prime, so I don't have to pay for it, or so I don't have to pay for it again.
Right.
And Mark Gatiss has written a couple episodes for Doctor Who as well, and he also plays the banker from the Iron Bank of Bravos, Game of Thrones. Let's try to bring up Game of Thrones in every episode. It's both of these shows, both of these iterations of Sherlock. They're modern takes. Mm-hmm. They're very fast. They're very sexy. They're
need subtitles.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially being American, like it's just way more way more fast. It's way faster than
Oh my god, y'all. It's like too fast for my slow ears.
Yeah.
I especially needed the subtitles more for Sherlock whenever Benedict Cumberbatch was going off on his little when he's basically talking to himself, solving it in his mind or out loud.
Yeah.
Compared to, I don't know the other actor's name.
Johnny Lee Miller.
Johnny Lee Miller.
You're talking about the other in Elementary, right?
Yeah. So
from Train Spotting and other things.
Oh, Elementary's the only thing I know him from. Mm-hmm. Well, why don't we talk about the two and compare them, like the characters?
All right.
Like Benedict Cumberbatch and like how they kind of play him, and then Johnny Lee Miller.
Right. So Johnny Lee Miller. So at the beginning of Elementary, both of these shows start with Watson.
They do, yeah.
More or less. Well, I mean, the Elementary starts with the murder first, but then the first character we meet is Joan Watson, played by the timeless Lucy Liu.
She's like 50.
Yeah. Yeah, she sold her soul. And she made some sort of deal.
Yeah, I really liked how...
But more specifically, they both open with Watson in bed, which I thought is interesting. It's something to bear in mind throughout all of this is Sherlock came out first. And there was a lot of concern about CBS making a modern remake of Sherlock after BBC just did it, that they were going to be cribbing a lot from Sherlock, and there was even like some back and forth between the two networks of like,
really?
You better not. And they're saying, no, we won't.
Interesting.
And ultimately, I think it turned out fine.
Yeah.
There was no like infringement of rights or whatever, because Sherlock is in the public domain. Characters in the public domain. So, but it's hard. It was hard not to try to make these comparisons of like, they kind of did the same thing here.
Right. Right.
And how much of these things were from the original source material, and how much of them are from, how much of them were just happenstance, or how much of it was just they just stole it.
Yeah, that's what makes me want to like read the original and just be like,
Well, both of them definitely do the same thing of you're following you see the world through Watson's eyes. You're introduced to Sherlock.
Yeah.
And everything through that, which I'm pretty sure the original novels did that too.
Okay.
I think it's.
I really don't think you read them.
It's been so long. I should have done more research for this.
Yeah, you're the research guy.
Oh, that's a terrible thing to say.
Why?
Because it's not true.
Oh, well.
Minimal research.
Well, I'm making it to you now.
That's not what this pod is.
Well, Martin Freeman's Watson is a army doctor who just got back, and he's injured. He has a limp. He's going to a therapist, And Lucy Liu's Watson, Joan Watson, is a old surgeon turned sober companion.
Right. Mm-hmm. Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I know
made up.
I know there are like sponsors.
Yeah.
Like AA or Narcotics Anonymous or whatever. Like I know that's a thing. Mm-hmm. But like a live-in, that's a
24/7.
Right. That felt like a weird forced, like, how am I going to get these people together? Yeah. And, oh, let's give him a rich dad so that we can have that sort of like resource.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, there's no way around it. Like, I'm watching Elementary after loving Sherlock for so long. It's hard not to watch it without sort of like corner of the eye kind of like comparing the two. And there were parts of it that were cool. Parts of it I was surprised that I was like, oh, like, okay, this is fun. This is like a fun kind of a thing. Mm-hmm. But parts of it too, I was like, oh, Sherlock did it so much better.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Also, at the same time, and it just bears, I mean, it's just, it needs to be said that we watched, the episodes we watched were the pilots for both of them.
Yeah.
And Elementary definitely felt like a pilot. So any broad strokes judgment on a TV show on just the pilot alone is unrealistic, especially for American television, where you can see that Sherlock definitely felt like it had a lot more time incubating and was more developed. And I think had the luxury of being made like a few episodes at a time early, whereas this one, I don't know the production history of this Elementary. It may have just been like we made a pilot and then they got the series ordered, then they made the series. I mean, everybody's had that conversation with a friend of, oh, I want you to watch this show. You just got to get through the first like 8 episodes.
Yeah,
it gets really good in season 4. You know,
does it feel like that for Elementary?
I wonder, because I know that it's got like a big fan base. I know people like watch it. You're the first person in person I know that watches it.
Oh, well.
Because I think Sherlock just kind of eclipses for a lot of people. Mm-hmm. But I wasn't wowed by it.
Fair.
But again,
because of the things you just said.
What shows, aside from Lost,
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it.
Are going to really like win you over just in the pilot.
Yeah. That's fair. I really think you just need to watch the first 8 episodes. Okay.
First 8 episodes, got it. That's the barrier of entry. Or the cost of entry. Yeah, because like I think Johnny Lee Miller is good. He's a different take. It's fascinating that it's him and Benedict Cumberbatch because they both did a widely praised and publicized. The Royal National Theater did Frankenstein. They did a 2-man version of it where it's Victor Frankenstein and the monster, but they would alternate roles each night.
Ooh.
One would play the doctor, one would play the monster. But it was like right before, I think it was right after Sherlock came out and right before Elementary came out in 2011. But it was both of those two guys. So they're like already kind of paired. It's like
wait, they were in it together, or they were?
Yeah. Well, like one would play the monster, one would play Frankenstein, and then they would swap roles.
Oh my god!
Like on alternating nights. They did like what's the where they air it in movie theaters.
Airing in movie theaters.
Right, but they do like the live stream or like the simulcast or whatever. They'll play like sometimes they'll play like operas and.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what it's called though.
Yeah, they did that for it. National Theater Live. I think that's what it is.
I need to get my hands on that.
That's the thing is I don't know if there's a recording of it. I think you could only see it in the theaters.
Damn it.
I think. I don't know. Maybe you could find it. I'm sure somebody out there.
I was wondering.
You go to the right shop.
I was wondering. You know how I love when actors work together?
Yeah.
I was thinking, did Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch work together or, for Elementary? But, look at there. These 2 actors.
That's right.
How fun.
In the theater.
I need to see that ASAP.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
Let's cut this short so I can find it.
Yeah.
right now.
All right. Let's just thank you for watching, everybody, or listening. Oh, geez, already blew it.
So Johnny Lee Miller's Sherlock is a recovering addict.
We meet him shirtless, which I think that was definitely a moment where I was like, okay, this is American TV. Not saying that they don't do that sort of thing on British TV, but it was like an American take.
Yeah.
It's in New York City, which is already kind of a can you take Sherlock out of London kind of a thing. I don't mind it so much. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But I could see people if you're looking for places to start sticking it, I mean, you could definitely applaud it for the fact that they do. I was reading a little bit more about like later seasons. No spoilers, but I saw like some like casting. They do more gender bending stuff. Where like I think Moriarty is played by Natalie Dormer, And so Joan Watson, that's a cool thing to have like a lady Watson.
Yeah.
And
an Asian lady.
An Asian lady.
Ooh,
that's right.
represent.
A timeless mythical being of an Asian lady.
Well, definitely Johnny Lee Miller Sherlock has a lot more sex appeal.
For sure.
Than
Benedict
Cumberbatch.
He has a different kind of, because you would be hard pressed to argue that Benedict Cumberbatch does not have a swarm of lady fans who think he is the sexiest man alive.
Yeah. Hence the SNL sketch.
Right.
Is Benedict Cumberbatch hot? Which I particularly do not find him that attractive.
Yeah.
Personally. Johnny Lee Miller, though.
I think Sherlock is like the best version of Benedict Cumberbatch for me. I think it's.
You think so?
I think it's my favorite performance that he does. And what I liked more about his version of Sherlock than Johnny Lee Miller's, both of them are good. Both of them have really fun, fast-paced energy, and you feel like they are the smartest guy in the room.
Yeah.
But the amount of swagger and arrogance that Cumberbatch brings to the role it's infectious. It's so exciting to see. It starts to wear maybe a little bit in like the later episodes, because sort of like the issue that Moffat runs into with his writing sometimes is that he keeps elevating like just how superhuman these people can be, to where they're essentially like godlike in their mental powers.
Yeah.
But early on, especially when it came to the moments of like the deductive scenes, like my words. And the deduction scenes where he's like breaking down like how I knew that he went to, how he knew that he was a veteran from, Iraq or Afghanistan, or how he knew that his sister was an alcoholic, or that versus the Elementary, I felt the Sherlock ones were more inevitable. There were no other, it was like, of course, it made more sense. Like the clues followed each other in a sequence that felt more distinct and defined, and there was no other solution to these problems. Whereas some of like the Elementary like deduction scenes where he was using things like body language and like, I should have written better notes of like what it was specifically that struck out, but it wasn't as, I don't know, it wasn't as like a definitive like statement. I
legit forgot I'm supposed to participate in this conversation, and I'm just sitting here like listening to you because I'm so fascinated by your like your analysis of these two. I don't know, I'm just sitting here. I forgot I was supposed to chime in. I'm watching these two not nearly as in depth as you, I don't think.
Well, then why are you podcasting?
Because I'm here to make the jokes, man.
The yuck 'em ups.
So you felt that Benedict Cumberbatch's aha moments, I guess you could say, or were a bit more true to Sherlock, the character of Sherlock?
So, yeah, I think, I'm not saying that Sherlock should be infallible. I think the beauty of like the character is that he does have his flaws, which are his, arrogance, his lack of social skills, his substance abuse, both of which touch on and are from the original original story.
I didn't know the substance abuse was like from the source material. I didn't know that. Yeah. I just thought that was just kind of what made Johnny Lee Miller.
I can't remember if he does like, if it's like an opium thing or if it's cocaine, and like but it was also like Victorian times too.
Yeah,
so it wasn't. I don't know.
It's fun watching Sherlock and seeing those kind of moments, because. Well, it kind of makes me a little sad, too, that Elementary wasn't that original. But when they touched on the addiction on Sherlock, I was thinking, interesting.
I think it's those moments of vulnerability in Elementary that, I'm not saying they don't make sense in a story, but they don't make sense for Sherlock. Because he has, like, the moment where he lies about how... he blew up at the woman when he's trying to get there to confess that she knew the guy who was strangling her, and he leaves, and then Lucy Liu comes out and says that she got the name from him. And he said, I planned that all along. And then later he reveals that, no, I didn't plan it. I actually lost my cool. And I see what they're doing with trying to drive these two characters together to where they need... they want to make it to where they rely on each other.
Yeah.
But it's sacrificing Sherlock's sort of superhuman qualities.
Well, that's why you got 5 seasons of Elementary versus...
Very true. They do have a lot more they have to make.
Yeah. I think that's what I like more on that regard with Elementary because of those kind of sincere moments.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because I've only just seen the first episode of Sherlock, Benedict Cumberbatch, but I didn't really see that as much as with, Joan and Sherlock on Elementary.
One of my things with watching the pilot of Elementary and thinking about, I'm assuming this gets better because, again, doing a pilot's difficult on a lot of different bases, like production-wise, like getting a style down, getting the writing down, and also the performances. Johnny Lee Miller I liked. He made strong choices. Lucy Liu was kind of boring.
Yeah.
She doesn't do a whole lot.
She kind of... It's pretty much that, I think, for the majority of the series. I mean, she obviously has her moments and, shining moments and everything, but...
I wrote down the most emotion that she shows in the episode is during the Mets game at the very end.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's the most involved she ever gets in the entire episode.
Yeah, it's pretty much... Obviously, it's all about Johnny Lee Miller.
Right.
So, excuse me. But, however, on the other hand, Martin Freeman loved.
Yeah, he's...
Whoa.
Yeah. It's a toss-up between John Watson and... what's his character in The Office? I can't think of its name. Again, scream at your radios. let me drink your tears. But like the most iconic, like Martin Freeman doing his awkward, bumbling British. Yeah, bumbling isn't the right word again, but it's he's the British everyman.
Yeah,
so good, good in this, and he has a crazy emotional journey throughout. Get excited because if you're gonna watch the whole thing, like and their like bromance that grows over time is really fun.
Is it a bromance pretty much immediately? Because the relationship between these two pairings in the pilot of the BBC Sherlock, it's pretty much they get on pretty quickly.
Right.
But for as Elementary, there's a lot of touch and go, I think. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's just the memory of the show seeping into the pilot. But I think there's a lot of more touch and go. But they have to put in a lot more work to make that relationship work.
And like
Elementary.
No, you made a very good point though too. Is it's an American primetime show, so they have to do so many more hours of TV than this. Like I said, they do 3 episodes a year for BBC, or every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Like there's huge gaps in between, so they don't have the same like commercial pressures. So I think Sherlock has the luxury of being able to go 0 to 100 at a moment's notice and like getting these characters going, whereas they've got to fill so much time for Elementary that they
milk it,
develop these characters over time, follow like the more procedural thing.
Yeah.
Something I did realize watching Elementary and seeing how like the procedural, I'm assuming it turns into a procedural show.
Basically, yeah.
Is how much it made me think of, and I haven't watched in a long time, made me think of House, which is another modern retelling of Sherlock, and arguably probably the most successful one ever, because that was it was on for a long time, and
is it supposed to be
the world over?
Is it supposed to be like a version of Sherlock?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, have you watched House?
A couple episodes.
Well, I mean, think about it. Holmes, House.
Okay. What else?
The best friend is Wilson instead of Watson. He's also a mystery. He has a drug addiction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love moments like these. I love moments where you have like this like aha thing where you're like, it was sitting there the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me just sit here for a moment.
I hope that there are some listeners out there right now having the exact same moment. It's like, what? House is a Sherlock Holmes? Yeah.
I want to know all the different Sherlock Holmes interpretations. They're successful, at least. How about that?
I think.
What others, Stephen?
I mean, it's probably a controversial statement. Probably not for our listeners, because I think most of them are going to be of our generation. But the one that made the biggest mark on me was The Great Mouse Detective.
Yes. I didn't write that, but I thought, yep.
So good. And they do.
Remember the second episode, the Christmas episode we did, where the moment when he was looking through the microscope and he crushed that holly berry was just one of those images that stuck with you?
Are you about to say what I think you're about to say?
Yeah, when he was matching up the bullet.
Yeah. That and the the chemistry set scene.
Yes.
Is, I don't know what it is, but it's one of those. It's sort of like a visual ASMR.
Okay.
I don't really get ASMR. That doesn't do it for me. But I understand the sensation of like people hear a very specific noise or sound, like, and it's a very I think the word that people use is satisfying.
Satisfying, yeah.
It's a very satisfying, pleasing noise.
Yeah.
That sequence with the bullet lining up and the percolating chemistry set where they're trying to test like the salt water or whatever it is in that scene.
And that like purple
very,
drop or something
yeah,
at the end?
It's very satisfying.
Yes.
Visually satisfying. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's because it was imprinted on our brains when we were so young.
But why? Because I think that too. Like that scene, that whole scene is the part that stuck out to me the most. Well, in the end when they were in the champagne fountain, but that's besides the point. But
Professor
Rattigan. But yeah, that scene, that's so funny.
That's also got like similar like a music cue, like bum 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 bum, something like that. Yeah. I was struck watching Sherlock again how like heavily they use that theme throughout the entire pilot, which is the bam 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 bam
that
bam
music?
bam bam. Yeah, just like
that
through
music
all of
got me hyped.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm sitting there.
And that was
like,
another one of those like unavoidable comparisons of like Elementary felt like they were doing a similar thing with like
dun, 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 dun,
yeah.
dun.
It was like the like strings, like small like string ensemble thingy happening too. But
could you argue that if they kind of went too, well, I'm trying to say, if it was that much different than Sherlock, would you think it wouldn't be as successful maybe?
How do you mean?
Like stuff like that, the little stuff. Like
if they had intentionally run away from Sherlock as much as possible,
right? You think it would have been successful?
I don't know. I mean, I think the story is like the original plan was they wanted to make a American version of the BBC show, and they said no, and they said, well, it's public domain, so we're going to make a version anyways.
Gotcha.
And then, but they had to be as different as they could be from that. But maybe it's unavoidable just because they're using the same source material that some things just had to be
the same, similar.
Sherlock in space. Maybe they could have done that, or Sherlock.
Yeah, that's Doctor Who.
That's a good point. That's a solid point.
So they live together in both shows.
Right.
I want just a live stream of their day to day. What goes on in between? And there's just little moments. I just want to see that. The interaction like that.
What do you imagine is happening?
Not a lot. Not a lot. Maybe,
and you want to watch this?
Yeah. Maybe there's a part where Watson is eating breakfast or so, and Sherlock just comes and gets a glass of water and goes back to his room. I don't know. I want to see moments like that. Or maybe...
Do you think this about every show you watch?
I'm going to now.
Yeah?
Or maybe if someone is in the bathroom and the other needs to use it, what's that like?
Well, I mean, you could say, like, in the British one, it's Martin... Like, say it's Sherlock in the bathroom and Martin needs to go. So he's going to be very deferential of, like, it's going to be... like, oh, you almost done it? No? Okay.
As in, Sherlock will just open the door, regardless of what Watson is doing.
Exactly.
Mid-pinch.
Yeah. I wanted to... These are the questions the actors ask.
Like I said, I wrote, love it so far. Talking about Sherlock. I like in Sherlock, whenever Benedict Cumberbatch is thinking, they have the text on the screen that kind of comes in and out.
That's a major part of the show, and what it does really well is how much it involves, text on screen. And that happens throughout. And how both of them have to do their version of what does an updated Sherlock look like? Like, how much does he use technology? And in Elementary, he keeps making jokes about using Google, and Sherlock, it's a lot of it's about texting and things like that.
A lot of texting.
Yeah. Which again, it's hard not to draw comparisons where it's like, like why did you like? Was that necessary? I don't know. Like I've never sat down to think like, oh, what would I do if I wrote a modern Sherlock? And maybe these are just trappings that everybody felt like they had to hit, or maybe they're just stealing it. Who knows?
Who knows?
Aidan Quinn, I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh, Gregson? Captain Gregson? What was he in that?
Legends of the Fall?
No, there's something else. I've not seen Legends of the Fall.
I
feel like that's like a dad movie. Okay, so there's one part where Watson gets in a car and he's summoned by the archenemy of Sherlock.
Right.
And I initially thought that man was Moriarty. And I'm thinking, surely they cannot show Moriarty this early.
Right.
And thankfully it wasn't. It was his brother, Mycroft.
That's right. And that's, I think that's a cool setup for everybody who had already knew, like, that's one of the things that they're able to fall back on with it being a pre-existing property is a lot of people are expecting these characters to show up. So everybody had that expectation of, oh yeah, it's definitely going to be Moriarty. Because everybody knows, like, that's...
Yeah, me included.
That's a guy. But I think fewer people know about Mycroft if you haven't read the books. But I guess he shows up in the Robert Downey Jr. I don't remember if it's the first one or the second one. Because Stephen Fry plays Mycroft.
I forgot about those movies.
Really?
Yeah.
I was talking about it last night with my dad and how he was like, oh, I wish he'd made a third one. Because I enjoyed them because those are Guy Ritchie directed those.
Yeah, I saw the first one. I don't think I saw the second one, but
the second one has Moriarty and or was the first one had Moriarty?
I don't remember.
Which one has Jared Harris in it?
I don't know.
You'd remember if he was in the first one, right?
No.
Does he fall off a waterfall at the end?
I don't remember. I don't think so.
Game of Shadows. I can't remember if that's the first one or the second one.
You know, this can be solved very easily right
now.
The
first one? No. The first one is Mark Strong.
Maybe I haven't seen these.
And the second one is Jared Harris because that's the Moriarty thing.
Oh, okay.
Because
Jared Harris is Moriarty?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Professor Moriarty.
King George.
But anyway, so yeah, it's fun that they can have those expectations for the audience. I do think it's fascinating watching it again of seeing Mark Gatiss play that role. That's such a Mary Sue kind of a character. Educational moment for the podcast.
Yes.
Mary Sue is a term. I don't know how new of a term it is, but it's the idea of the writer writing a version of themselves into a story. And it's usually a derogatory term or pejorative because it's if it's very apparent, then it looks weird. It's like, oh, yeah, I'm writing myself to be, like this cool superhuman
M. Night Shyamalan.
Right. Well, I don't know if it's so much. It's not so much like putting yourself into a show,
but writing a version. You said.
Yeah, it's like writing yourself into it. I feel like the one that usually comes to mind for me is Dan Brown and Robert Langdon.
Okay.
Where it's like a middle-aged man who's kind of athletic is able to save the world by knowing symbology.
Okay.
And like knowing a lot about history.
That's new for me.
It's apparent that Robert Langdon's kind of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And so this one, it's much more apparent because Mark Gatiss actually put himself in the show. So he's putting himself in the show as this like super smart, super capable British like genius as being the older brother of Mycroft, the older brother of Sherlock. Which in the stories, like in the original books, Mycroft is supposed to be smarter than Sherlock.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like these dueling like geniuses, or whatever, which comes up later in the series as well.
Mycroft in Elementary is, I think, like a businessman. I think it's like a restaurateur in Elementary. You see him like I think maybe second or third season. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What a cool name though.
Mycroft. Microsoft and Lara Croft. Mycroft. I wrote a couple of quotes down that I really liked. Whenever Mycroft is analyzing Watson in that abandoned that weird building, he said, "You're not haunted by the war, you miss it."
Yeah.
Ooh. Felt that was like a character, what am I saying? Words. Come on, Steven. You know what I'm trying to say.
That's a big driving force.
There we go.
Of the series, of that character.
There we go.
Sure.
Thank you.
Is how much of a thrill seeker he is, and that definitely comes back. And that's sort of what drives their like brings them together, drives their relationship. Is both of them. It's the thrill of the hunt, the thrill of the chase.
He has a limp in the show in the beginning with a cane,
right? And
Sherlock thinks it's psychosomatic.
Uh-huh.
There's this one scene where he and Sherlock go chasing after a taxi together, and Watson leaves his cane at the restaurant and goes running with Sherlock, just forgetting about it, right? And then whenever the cane is returned to him, when they're done back at the house, I wish there was more of a moment there.
Really?
Yeah. Watson got the cane and had a little smirk on his face, but then was like on to the next thing. I kind of wish they, I don't know, maybe a close up or more of a music cue or something. I don't know. I wanted something more.
Interesting.
There, yeah.
So like to act that up, like he takes it back and looks at it and
yes,
and
maybe
just like breaks down crying.
Maybe Sherlock is inside and looking, and maybe makes like a moment of eye contact, and then walks away out of frame. Yeah. I don't know. I need something.
He gives him like the smirk and the
yes. I needed something.
Gotcha.
But dang it,
I love hearing these moments. Yeah, more of those. How would Angela fix things?
That should be a segment. How would Angela?
Angela, how do we fix this movie? Go.
More shirtless. Johnny Lee Miller.
There you go. Oh, I made sure to write it down with a lot of exclamation points that Johnny Lee Miller, like Gregson talking about his relationship with Sherlock in Elementary and how they met right after 9/11. It's back. Just saying. You brought it this time. Wasn't me. Okay, so is room symmetry a thing? Like people decorating rooms to be exactly symmetrical.
Like in decor?
So it was that was one of my beefs with Elementary. It was like their version of deductive reasoning was, oh, we're going to do like a real life version of what's the 10 different things about this picture from like a highlights magazine.
I don't think that's like an official thing, but then again, what do I know? Like, yeah. I have no idea, but I mean,
I wrote that a few times because it was like the live-in companion for like a recovering person. Is that a thing, or is that something a writer made up so that we can force this thing to happen? Yeah, is room symmetry a thing, or is this the only way I can come up with showing Sherlock's deductive powers?
If you can remember, if not, that's okay. Is there a moment with Johnny Lee Miller of those moments that you were like, oh? I'm trying to think too.
Yeah.
Because he...
Let me see. No, because I mean, another thing happened too with like the safe room.
Yeah.
Like dropping the marble or whatever on the ground to see it roll over there. I feel like I've seen that somewhere before.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm pretty sure I've already seen that, and I don't remember the order that I saw it. So I don't know if this one did it first. I have a hunch that it didn't. I'm pretty sure that another show has already done that.
Yeah. There was a moment, that part where he knew that she was visiting a cemetery.
Yeah.
Did you appreciate that?
That was yeah. That was talking about the parking ticket and all that. That was pretty neat. Yeah. That was an interesting take on that. Speaking of the safe room, I wrote down, did they hire a dancer for that dead body?
Her leg?
She looks like a puzzle piece or something. She's just all like Wompy Jaw.
Her foot definitely did not belong where it was.
Yeah. And like another version, another instance of him being like the smartest, like him being the smartest guy in the room. It's like, oh, I'm writing a book in my head. Like,
would you like to hear the last paragraph?
Right. That felt like, I don't know what it is about it. It felt like a first take on like, how can we show how smart this guy is? It felt like it didn't, I don't know if it didn't feel specific enough or if it didn't feel nuanced. I don't know what it is, but some of their versions of showing him to be the smartest guy in the room didn't feel quite as strong as Sherlock
Okay.
And maybe it's because he didn't talk as fast. I don't know. That might be it. Maybe if I watched Sherlock more closely, I'd see the same sort of like holes of like, wait, is that an inevitable deduction that he could have made from that? Or is he just wowing us with his performance? I don't know.
I just hit you talking about how fast he was talking. I still couldn't get over how fast he was talking.
Yeah.
There was no possible way I could have followed. Even reading, I consider myself a fast reader, but dear God, those subtitles were going by so
did you
fast.
You watched it on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
You notice how sometimes they would skip? On mine, when I was watching it, they would like do a subtitle, and then they would have like 2 lines of dialogue that weren't even subtitled. I was like, they couldn't do it fast enough.
I know, not on this show, but I've noticed it before that they do that.
I don't know if that's intentional because it happened so fast, or because like Netflix is glitching out or something.
Well, then I just feel bad for deaf people because
they're
not
missing
getting the
out
whole thing.
some gold.
They are. I like the humor with Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock. Well, maybe, okay, humor's not the right thing. I like how Benedict Cumberbatch was playing up the humor, I guess. He's not much, okay, who's more of a dick? Benedict Cumberbatch or Johnny Lee Miller?
They both are pretty bad.
Yeah.
I having not seen the rest of Elementary and knowing some of the things that Sherlock does in Sherlock,
Yeah, okay.
He does some pretty awful stuff.
Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah. When it comes to like person-to-person encounters, and you don't see much of her in the pilot, but his stuff with Molly Hooper, the girl who lets him beat the dead body in the mortuary, their relationship is pretty painful to watch.
Ooh. She's still pining over him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's not a will they, won't they. It's just they're not going to. So why?
It's like in The Crown, they kind of played it, will they, won't they? They will. Mm-hmm. Hey, spoiler, yeah, they will.
Forever. For 100 years.
Did you get a will they, do you think they're going to do a will they, won't they kind of a thing with Elementary?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I think they're playing that up.
Do you think they
do it in Sherlock for sure.
I guess they do.
A lot of fans really, want that to
ship
happen.
them.
Oh yeah, and they play into that. Sherlock is a show that's extremely fan aware.
Okay.
And it toys with that in a meta sort of way.
Funny. I love meta.
Yeah.
Very good. Supernatural does that a lot. That's besides the point. That's a future episode. Do you think Lucy Liu and Johnny Lee Miller get together at one point?
That I don't know. Because I don't know that the Sherlock and Watson dichotomy or pairing or whatever can withstand that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they would ever actually go for it.
Okay.
In that way. Because a specific thing with Sherlock is part of their relationship is John Watson in the stories gets married. Mm-hmm. He has I'm pretty sure in the books he has an American wife.
In the show, does he get married? Do you see that?
Maybe Irene Adler's American. Yeah, I don't remember. In the show, you'll see.
I will see tonight, probably.
And then Sherlock has his thing with Irene Adler as like the only woman who ever, in the book, she's the only woman who ever bests him, who ever beats him. I say the only woman, the only person who ever beats him.
Same in Elementary.
Right.
Yeah. Oh.
But they do a thing where, spoiler, I saw it, but they conflate the two characters though, right?
Yes.
Moriarty and Irene Adler.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that was
Why?
That was on the IMDb. It was just like listed on both.
Fine.
Sorry. But anyways, so whether or not Elementary goes that route, or if they could go that route, or if they should go the route, or if they did go that route, I don't know. I personally am not into it just because Sherlock and Watson, I think it's about a friendship. Mm-hmm. But
well, they don't. If you're all about the spoilers and everything, but anyways.
Well, definitely not now.
But of course, I ship them.
Of course you do.
Yeah, because
just
I'm a woman.
Keep coming back for more.
Exactly. I wrote some stuff with little details about the actual story, not so much themes, but I wrote the whole mystery in the episode with Sherlock is that someone is basically forcing people to kill themselves.
Right.
And there have been 4 murders, and turns out it's this guy, and he's just playing a game with these 2 pills, saying, you take one pill, I'll take the other, and one of them is is a deadly pill. So that's the thing. So I put and the murderer, the cabbie, he gets a certain amount of money from Moriarty per kill, I guess.
Right.
That goes towards the killer's children.
Right.
My question was, how much money per person, per murder, you think he was getting?
A fiver? I don't know.
A tuppence.
Kill the people, chopping somebody, dropping. I don't know. How much money would you need?
What I need?
Yeah.
Let's say I wouldn't.
Ballpark figure.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 chance, right? So I could just drop dead the first time I play, right?
Right.
So I guess if the first time I was successful, I would need a hefty sum to keep going, I would think. And he had like 2 kids in that picture, right?
Right.
Moriarty's pretty wealthy. Right?
College is so expensive these days. University.
Uni.
Yeah.
Per murder, let's say $500,000.
500,000 American dollars.
American dollars, yes.
500,000 pounds sterling.
Yeah.
Which I think is more. I'm not sure what the exchange rate is right now.
It's like ×2, isn't it?
It was a while ago. I'm not sure if when I went the first time, that was like 2008 or 9, I think. It was like 2-to-1, but I think since then it's like 1.4.
Yikes. Well, how much would you charge?
I wouldn't kill anybody, Angela, you monster.
He didn't kill anybody.
We're on some shifting sands right now. Moral rocky ground.
He didn't do anything. I'm just saying.
He just held a lighter.
He did. He did. I want that lighter, by the way.
Played a little bit of Russian roulette. Pill style. Jeez.
I liked Anderson was, I guess, one of the, what do you call him? Was he?
He's part of their. He's the police force. You talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the term? It's like
detective?
The forensics guy.
Oh yeah. I don't know.
Well, anyway, I love how badly Sherlock treats him and just talks to him like crap.
Yeah, just poo-poos all over him.
So poo-poo. So good. I wrote a quote.
Shut up, everybody! Shut up! Don't move, don't speak, don't breathe. I'm trying to think. Anderson, face the other way. You're putting me off.
What? My face is?
My face? So funny. Moments like that, and the moments where Watson was flirting with Mycroft's assistant.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Loved it.
That's prime Martin Freeman.
Oh, so good.
Hey, do you ever get any free time?
Oh yeah, lots. Bye.
Okay.
The choices. When I see actors like that, I just think, oh, the choices.
Yeah.
He could have made so many other choices, but that one was so good.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Choice.
That's why, yeah, right? Ugh. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Mm-hmm.
The Detective Lestrade, what else has he been in? He's been in a lot of other stuff, huh?
Yeah. I'm sure he's all over British TV. He was in Doctor Who.
I think that might be.
He was in the Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. He's like the famous African hunter. Like Safari.
Lestrade. I was expecting his name to be Gregson, too. Where did that name come from?
I don't know.
Is Lestrade in the original?
I don't remember.
Rupert Graves.
Yeah. What else was he in?
Oh, I'm about to tell you now.
Hit me.
V for Vendetta.
Yeah.
Okay. A Room with a View. Death at a Funeral. Maurice. 12 Monkeys. Sherlock. The Family. Sacrifice. Native. Okay, and a bunch of stuff I have no idea.
What was it?
He is a cancer.
Has a cancer?
No, he is a cancer.
Oh, jeez. Okay. It's like, what? What a weird way to phrase that. Oh, he was in The Crimson Field. That's a show that only got 1 season, but I wish it kept going. It's like a World War I medical hospital thing. I forgot he was in that.
I love how in both shows they just immediately say, or Sherlock immediately just says, I'm a consulting detective. Let's just get that out.
Yeah.
Right in the beginning.
Yeah.
And the moments where both Watsons, I think they both said, how did you do that? Or something like that.
Well, but like I said, both of them are audience proxies. They're
That's
us.
right, that's right.
They're us entering the world. So they're asking the
world.
questions that we want to ask.
Benedict Cumberbatch just needs a haircut. It was really getting on my nerves.
I will say I did like how Elementary. Sherlock like is way more indulgent in its title sequence. In Elementary, there's no faffing about, is what I wrote down. It's just like bam, Elementary. No work going on because they've got their screen time is so precious.
The next episode, I think the next episodes, they elaborate on the title sequence. And
Okay, gotcha.
It's very similar to Great Mouse Detective. That whole thing. What is that called? That machine?
The chemistry like thing. I just call it a chemistry set.
Chemistry. It's not a chemistry set. It's that machine where a ball knocks over this, which knocks over that.
Rube Goldberg.
Yeah, it's that.
Right.
In the title sequence of Elementary.
That's neat.
Mm-hmm. It's cool. Very exciting, and the music is very loud. So turn it down when you watch it.
Like Parks and Rec. Have you ever noticed that on Parks and Rec, like during like the intro music, like it starts off on like a certain note, and then it gets really, really loud part through.
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah.
Yeah. That it is loud.
Yeah.
I have to say. Oh, there was another show whose song was super loud. Have you seen the thing where they switched Office and Parks music?
No.
It's pretty good.
That's cool.
It's pretty good. It oddly fits both.
I can picture it now.
Can you?
I wasn't crazy about, again, this is another one of those things where I feel like they kind of undercut Sherlock's quote unquote powers or his his skill set is that Watson is the one who ultimately figures out the rice thing. Because I don't think that's Watson's role of making her as much of an investigative force as Sherlock is.
Whenever she asked the suspect, "Where were you last night?" Out of turn, were you kind of like, "Ugh"?
Yeah.
Know your place.
Yeah, that's like she's supposed to be support.
Yeah, I didn't like that part. I'm like, okay, girl, chill out.
Yeah. Which is tough to say because they made her a female character too. So saying that now sounds like
shut your mouth, woman.
Yeah, because it's hard to say she should know her place, and that's of course not what I mean. I mean the character.
I'm setting you up.
The character Watson with Sherlock, because it would be the same thing if they made Sherlock a woman and Watson a man. If Watson was piping in with the same thing, then I would be just as upset. Sherlock as a woman. Discuss.
And if Sherlock was
it's
a
inevitable,
woman,
right? Like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They made all-female Ghostbusters and all-female Ocean's 11 coming out. So why not a female? They have a female doctor. Why not female Sherlock? What would her name be?
Shirley Sherlock.
Shirley?
Shirley Sherlock. Hello, I'm Shirley Sherlock. Otherwise, she's so like lower class. What's the mystery today, Governor? My name's Shirley Sherlock. She's like 54 as an old smoker.
Oi, Watson. Well, her name would be, it would be Shirley, I think. And then what John would say the same.
I was making Sherlock the last name, Shirley Sherlock.
Wait, what?
I just realized, like, no, like, I
you would make Sherlock her last name?
No, after saying Shirley Sherlock, I was like, wait, what's her first name? You idiot. Sherlock's the first name. Shirley Holmes? That's so stupid. That sounds like a 90. That's like a 1993 or like 1996 like TV movie remake with like a little girl playing, trying to solve who stole like the lunch lady's purse. What's your name? I'm
Shirley Holmes.
I'm Shirley Holmes. I'm an American with gumption.
It's Sherlock and Joan Watson's child in the future.
Right.
Shirley Holmes.
Muppet babies of Sherlock Holmes.
Did you like the intention to keep Johnny Lee Miller's tattoos?
I honestly, the thought never crossed my mind.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Where you were like, hey, okay, he's tatted up.
No, I didn't notice it because it's a modern retelling. I know they're trying to make him. It's more of like I don't know if rock star is the right word, but just that sort of like contemporary, like edgy dude. And
yeah,
no, I didn't come out to me. I noticed he wore a vest.
He sure did.
A vest with a t-shirt.
Oh yeah, middle school vibes.
Yes,
right
100%. With a shamrock t-shirt.
I do have to say, Lucy Liu's clothing or the costuming I want every single outfit she has in this show.
I noticed when she wore that hat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very chic.
Yeah.
Chic. Let's see. Oh, I wrote a quote from Elementary that I really liked. Joan Watson has 2 alarm clocks, and Sherlock says,
Why do you suppose you hate your job so much?
I don't hate my job.
You have 2 alarm clocks. No one with 2 alarm clocks loves their job. 2 alarm clocks means it's a chore for you to get up in the morning.
I was hitting that snooze button a lot this morning.
yeah?
Yeah.
I wish.
But that's not a comment on me not enjoying this podcast. That's just me not being good at falling asleep at night
Sure.
and then being very bad at waking up in the morning.
Well, you said you were a night owl, huh?
100%. I wish I weren't. I wish I was a morning guy. But
I'm trying to read some like trivia for Elementary.
the guy who plays like the sergeant or like the other detective
In
is-
which show?
in Elementary, it felt like a cliche like New York cop. Like I wrote down like one of his quotes was,
Mixed his colors with his whites? No, that was a nut bar.
Oh, that guy? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not in it.
he
Why?
couldn't make it past the pilot.
No,
Okay.
that's why I don't remember him.
Gotcha.
There's another detective that is like part of the cast that comes in afterwards, and he's more.
He didn't survive the pilot process.
I don't think so. Poor guy.
Hey, it happens. It's a tough business.
It is. I'm reading here that neither Johnny Lee Miller nor Lucy Liu had ever read a Sherlock Holmes book before securing these roles in the pilot.
It shows.
Oh, God.
Was she like, wait, John Watson? It's not Joan Watson? I will say another comparison, and again, this is just, it's interesting that both of them did this, but they both have a scene of Sherlock having to convince somebody to let Watson into a crime scene.
They both did that?
Almost
oh,
identical. Yeah.
They did.
It's like that doesn't feel like
They both let him in with the caution tape.
Right, exactly. It doesn't feel like an inevitable choice, I guess. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like both of them had to do that.
You think that the police should have just been like, all right, whatever.
Well, at one point they do. In Elementary, at one point she just like shows up and finds Sherlock and like she gets a text from him saying, "Hey, police headquarters" or whatever, and she just like walks past a policeman into like the archives with nobody escorting her or showing her where to go.
I know what part you're talking about. I'm just assuming she had to sign in. They didn't want to show that part.
Right, but at the same time, like they just let her like find her way there.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
right. It's a pretty lady. She's not gonna do nothing.
Not a day over 32.
Heck no. What moisturizer does she use? I want to know her skincare routine.
Blood of a puppy.
Oh, she like just had a baby too. Not like just, but really recently.
Well, I read it. She had a surrogate.
Okay, well that makes more sense.
Because
That makes more
I
sense.
was like, what does that mean? Oh, that's right.
Well, Janet Jackson, didn't she have a baby
surrogacy.
naturally?
Who?
Janet Jackson?
Where did that come from?
What do you mean?
Why are we
Well,
talking?
she older women having babies.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure she naturally had a baby.
Oh, gotcha.
recently.
I wasn't making a comment about that. I assumed you were talking about like how did she like keep her figure after having a
Oh no,
baby.
I was commenting on her age.
Gotcha.
Shame on me.
Gotcha.
Women
That
can do
is-
anything, no matter what age, guys.
That's right. I'm not tying anybody down.
Bottom line, police are idiots apparently in these shows.
Yeah,
They can't do their jobs.
they get a bad rap. Mm-hmm. Get a bad rap on consulting detective shows.
Consulting detectives.
Um,
How does Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock have money? Does he get compensated?
I don't remember. I know that comes up.
Because with Johnny Lee Miller, his dad is rich.
Well, they show
thing.
him like having like he doesn't get paid by the police force, but a lot of the people that he helps out. He works as a consulting detective, not just for the police, but for other clients.
Civilians?
Yeah, so they come in with like their mysteries
Okay.
essentially, and they usually help them out that way.
Whose Baker Street residence did you like better?
I mean they're both very similar. It's just would you rather live in London or New York? I guess.
Which would you?
I think London.
Yeah?
I think so. I've never been crazy about New York. I love visiting. I love like, spending time there, but I don't know if I could live there full time.
Mrs. Hudson in Elementary is an actress, Candace Kane. I think that's her name. And she's friends with Caitlyn Jenner. She's a trans woman. And she's a friend of Sherlock, I think, and she comes over occasionally to tidy up. She's not a landlady. She just comes over once in a while.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of similar characters.
Yeah.
I already said Mycroft is later on. Mrs. Hudson. And that's really it, right? That's like the core characters in Sherlock. I think.
I mean, yeah, there was Moriarty and Irene Adler.
I'm really upset that
and Mary Watson, which I read it also. Again, I spoiled it, but in the Elementary, it's her mother is Mary Watson, right? And then Sherlock, it's the Mrs. Which that's a spoiler for you, but it's not that big a spoiler.
Dang it!
It's hard to talk about spoilers because, like I said, it's already
public
in the
domain.
culture so much. Yeah.
Well, it's
not just that everybody's read the stories; everybody's heard a few different versions of the story.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm gonna binge watch all of it by tonight.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Strap in.
I'm so excited.
You're in for a good time.
I'm so excited. Another thing that I wrote down in Elementary, the classic. You know how remember you said the pat the pocket? In the Lost episode. Oh, when the audience doesn't know. You said in movies or shows, there's a little classic thing that actors do when they put something in a pocket.
It's specifically like in a waistcoat or a vest pocket. Yeah, and they do like a little pat.
They pat it.
Like in Lord of the Rings when Bilbo puts it in his pocket. Pat.
Pat. Well, in Elementary, it's the old. I knocked over this folder. Let me pick it up. Oh wait, the clue is right here, right on top.
Yeah, the slow rise and the
Ooh,
I love those.
It was here all along. Rice allergy.
That's cool.
There was another moment like that. I felt like you. I was like, oh,
that should be a segment. Is small acting moments. Because I don't know if I brought it up in the Bridget Jones ones or not, but she has a moment where she's like she has to do the like montage acting where she has to like smile to herself while remembering something. That's one of those specific actor moments where she's like having a memory while walking down the street. Better see it on her face. I feel like I had one with. I mean, I feel like Martin Freeman's acting style is just a series of those.
You think so?
It's like these very specific physical choices that he does. It's a lot of like posturing and gestures and things.
When they said that he was an old army doctor and a soldier, I kind of initially I found that really hard to believe just because it's Martin Freeman and I've only seen him in I really haven't seen him in that many things.
Love Actually, The Office, The Hobbit. He's in the Marvel universe now. Both of them are, but he was a small part in Captain America, but he's gonna be a bigger part in Black Panther, I'm pretty sure.
When I find actors that I really like, I tend to not obsess, but I fangirl really easily. Truly. I did it with Supernatural.
Right.
I did it with Harry Styles in One Direction. And I kind of did it with Johnny Lee Miller with Elementary when I was watching it. And I feel like I'm going to do that with Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready for that.
It's the road less traveled, I would say, with them. I'm not saying that there aren't Martin Freeman fans, but I think Benedict Cumberbatch gets most of the attention.
You think so?
So add another one to that Martin Freeman army.
I can't with the hair.
This the hair?
It's the hair.
That's what it is? Weird.
Right now. I love the moment whenever Benedict was laying on the chaise lounge and just his conversations with Martin Freeman.
You know one of my favorite? It's awful because the character is a monster, but one of my favorite Benedict Cumberbatch performances is in Atonement.
It's been so long since I've seen it. I don't remember.
He basically plays a child molester, which is awful. But he's so good in that time period of playing like the 1930s and 40s. Similar in like Imitation Game, but that was more of a specific like character that he wasn't able to do it. But like he had like the pencil mustache in Atonement and like had to play that very smarmy kind of like stiff upper lip kind of a guy. Again, the character itself is awful, but like the actor's portrayal of somebody of that time period, of an upper class person in that time period, is really strong.
Why isn't he more bad guys? He just looks like a bad guy, don't you think? Reptilian.
I don't know. The world wants him as a hero. Dormammu. I don't remember the rest of that line. All right, let's move on to show quizness.
Hold on. Let me collect myself.
Take a moment, and then I want to hear the theme song when you're ready.
I thought of another name we could call
Oh,
it.
hit me. What is it?
It was one other name that I couldn't remember last time. Oh, okay. For my medical background, instead of bundle of his, bundle of quiz.
What in the world? That's not a thing.
It's part of the electrical pathway of the heart. Bundle of his, H-I-S. It's like the atria, ventricle, Purkinje fibers, bundle of his, and like one other thing.
Weird. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Bundle of quiz.
Bundle of quiz. This conversation is making me hate it, so never mind. I hate it.
I like the idea of like that's a part of the body. It's always interesting, especially with like it's a specific part of like the human body. It's like I didn't know I had that. What is this thing? Yeah. All right.
So we have show quizness.
I think that's still the front runner.
I really still like Quiz or Not I, but okay. And then
it's just I still got to hang up about Wicked. It's just
why?
I don't know. At this point, I don't think it's justifiable. But
you don't think?
I just haven't liked it since high school.
Did you like it when it came out?
No, because it was everywhere. I think that was part of it. I think I was like 14 and everybody was talking about it, and I was like, oh, I'm so sick of hearing about it, and I don't want to talk about it.
Even if they weren't talking about it, you still didn't like the show?
I've actually seen the production of it too, so it's not like something I'm just like, I listened to like one song and I don't like it because everybody else likes it.
Were your arms crossed the entire time you were watching it though?
A little bit.
Were you booing?
It was like on the top row in Chicago. I think I had the flu at the time too.
Jesus.
It's just not my favorite.
Did that come out whenever we were in college and auditioning and stuff like that?
It came out 2003. So like it was our freshman year of high school.
Okay, I'm trying to remember if I heard a lot of audition songs from that show.
I mean, I think everybody at one point was trying to sing a song.
Defying Gravity?
Yeah. There's nothing like show quizness.
Okay, so I realized while we were talking, you answered some of my questions already.
I skirted around some of my...
Dang it, Angela!
Steer the conversation away.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's do one, then one, then one. So let's do alternating. So I'll go first.
Fine.
All right. My first question about Sherlock, and I think mine are all answerable.
Are they multiple choice?
No, because I think they're easy enough. I don't think.
Okay.
All right. Question 1: What is the name of the restaurant under 221B Baker Street?
What kind of restaurant was it?
I'll give you that. It's something sandwich bar and cafe.
I don't know.
The answer is Speedy's.
Man, that's hard.
I always notice whenever like an apartment is above a restaurant, because I've never lived in one, but I've had friends who lived in places like that, and it's just like, oh, what's it going to smell like in this apartment? Because I've had friends who like live above like Indian places or live above like Thai places, and it's very distinct. Like going up like the stairs into the hallway.
That was hard. Good one.
All right.
Okay. Okay. I'll ask it anyway. How do Captain Gregson and Sherlock know each other?
It was well, the specifics of it, all I remember was the timing was it was right after 9/11, and they were both. Gregson was working in something. Sherlock was working in homicide.
Aluminium.
Shut up. And Gregson, I don't remember what Gregson was working on, but he was doing the same consulting detective thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How about where?
Huh?
Where?
Manhattan?
No. Ooh, no.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Where were they? Where did they first meet? I guess.
Oh, I thought it was.
Or first work together.
I thought it was in Manhattan.
No, Scotland Yard.
Oh, dadgummit. Okay, yeah. All right.
Okay. So 0-0?
0-0. Question 2. This one actually is multiple choice.
Okay.
John Watson has a limp.
Uh-huh.
Which leg is it?
He carries his cane on the right side. So it's his left.
No. It's the right.
When you walk with a cane...
On the right, It's because you're
you
taking
carried
the
on-
weight off of that leg. Off the right
You know, I
leg.
got this question wrong in nursing school. We had a question about crutches and canes and which leg is affected.
Yeah.
And I always got it wrong.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Think about it.
Well, I know how it makes sense, but I remember in nursing school, it was like the opposite of what I thought made sense because it's like, or am I thinking of crutches? The question, like, they asked us crutches walking up and down the stairs, which leg do you put first and that kind of stuff. But yeah, okay, fine. Do I get a half a point for the cane being on the right side?
No.
Yay. Fine. Okay. If need be, I'll make this a multiple choice.
All right.
Okay. What does Sherlock call Watson to Captain Gregson when they first meet? Like, how does he refer to her? What does he call her?
Because they had that conversation of like, I can't remember like what he tells him. I remember what they talk about where he's like, oh, but I heard that you're like she's like, I can be whatever you want me to be. I can be a friend or like a family member or whatever. He said, oh, because I thought you were a valet. I thought you were like my butler. She said, we typically use the word companion. So I don't remember if that's before he talks to Gregson or not. So I'm going to say companion. Is it companion?
Valet.
Is it? It's a valet. Dadgummit. Yeah. This is my valet. That's just very Downton Abbey.
I still need to watch that too.
Yeah, you should. Oh, maybe I'll make you watch that. I think you'd probably watch it regardless, though.
I think I'm literally watching 10 Things right now.
Yeah.
This podcast is taking over my personal life.
This one, I think this one's going to be easy. I think you're going to get this one.
Is this the last one for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is Rach German for?
Revenge.
You got it.
Nice.
I should have asked you a different one. That one's too easy.
Do you have another one? Because I have.
No,
I just have one because you answered.
Nah.
One of them was going to be, what game were the two of them watching at the end?
Mets Reds.
Yeah. Okay, but that's not my question.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Okay. It's a two-parter.
Mm-hmm.
What anxiety medication did the killer take, and what shape is it?
Xanax. It's white and it's ovular.
Yes. Good.
1-1? 1-1?
Wow.
Good us.
Hey, I thought I was going to get you on that one.
Go us. All right.
I really think you should put like music cues in there. That'd be fun. Post-editing.
Music. I mean, something that people have requested, and I think is a good idea, and I probably should have done it by now, is trying to figure out a way to put in like clips of the show.
Oh.
In there, or like maybe like play the trailers in the beginning or something. I'll try.
Wait, over the podcast?
Yeah, like not over the inside. Like
you know what I
insert it
mean?
in between. Yeah. Because I know
So they can
shows
listen
like
to-
I know shows like West Wing Weekly does it where they'll play like clips and like other things. They'll like play like moments and things.
Interesting.
That would probably. It's just me being lazy. I'll try to do that this time.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I want to hear that.
I'll try to do it this time. All right. We'll see if it happens. Great. If it doesn't, I apologize. I won't put this part in the.
Dang it! Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
In the thing. All right. Any parting thoughts? Anything going on?
No, other than
I have had multiple people come up to me and tell me that they now watch Huell Hauser, including my parents. But
that's the show out of this podcast that they choose to watch.
That's the one that they're most curious about, and they're like, love it.
More than one person have said this.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't act like you're not in that crowd.
But Bunny Museum was legit. But I don't. That one?
Yeah. Remember to look us up on social media. IMYWT Pod. Send us your suggestions, your thoughts, your complaints, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Facebook,
making you watch this podcast. Like our page, share.
I made a little like behind the scenes video thing. If anybody wants to watch it I should have plugged it when it happened, but that's on my YouTube channel. You can find it online.
What's the name of your channel?
It's I Am Stephen Bailey, which is
Stephen
something
with a V, not a PH, by the way.
Correct, Stephen with a V, and it is what it is. I made it a long time ago. But yeah, there's like a fun little behind the scenes of how we made the pod. We're gonna do more video stuff. Yeah. So keep an eye out. We're gonna have other content and things coming out eventually.
And we I'm very pleasantly surprised by the growing number of people listening to this podcast. So keep them coming. Spread the word, guys.
It's cool.
Yeah, how many downloads so far? Over 200?
Yeah, we got a couple hundred so far.
But yeah, that's legit, and we really appreciate it. And just keep spreading the word, please.
Thanks, guys. All right, this has been I'm Making You Watch This. My name is Stephen Bailey.
I'm Angela Kang.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Tally-ho!